looked into your eagle's eyes and felt like something just shifted seconds before it moved? Like the air changed. Like it changed. And you couldn't explain why. Because here's the truth no one really talks about. Right before an eagle attacks, it does something so subtle, so quiet, that most people completely miss it. And once you see it, you'll never unsee it again. Most people think they understand eagles. They see power, control, precision, a creature that strikes fast, almost instantly, like a living weapon guided by instinct alone. But that's not entirely true, because an eagle doesn't just attack. It decides to, and that decision leaves clues, tiny ones, almost invisible ones, but they're always there. Imagine this. You're standing near your eagle. Maybe it's perched calmly, feathers relaxed, looking out into the distance. To anyone else, it looks peaceful. Still, almost indifferent. You might even feel safe. After all, it's not moving, right? But then something happens. Not a sudden movement, not a loud sound, something much quieter. Its focus narrows. This is the first thing. Before an eagle attacks, its entire world shrinks. It stops scanning everything and locks onto one single point. You might not notice it at first because the head barely moves. The body doesn't tense in any obvious way. But the eyes become different, sharper, still, unblinking in a way that feels almost unnatural. It's no longer looking. It's measuring distance, timing, angle. And here's the strange part. This moment can last longer than you'd expect. Sometimes a few seconds, sometimes longer. Long enough for you to feel like something is off, but not long enough for you to react. Most people think the attack is the dangerous moment. But the truth, the decision is. There was a falconer once who described it in a way that stayed with me. He said, "You don't get attacked by surprise. You just didn't understand the warning. And that warning isn't loud. It's silent." Right before the strike, an eagle often does something else that feels almost calm. It adjusts, not dramatically, just a slight shift of weight, a tiny repositioning of its feet, sometimes even a subtle lowering of its body. If you didn't know what you were looking for, you'd think it was just getting comfortable. But it's not. It's aligning itself, because eagles don't waste movement. Every attack is calculated down to the smallest detail. Even the angle of its talons matters. And here's where it gets even more fascinating. Many eagle owners misunderstand this moment completely. They think their eagle is relaxed, trusting, at ease. But in reality, the eagle is entering a state of extreme focus, a kind of biological tunnel vision. In the wild, this makes perfect sense. An eagle can't afford hesitation. Missing a strike could mean losing a meal, losing energy, risking survival. So evolution shaped them into something almost terrifyingly precise. Their brain filters out everything unnecessary. Noise, movement, distractions, even you. And that's the part that surprises people the most. Because if you've spent time with an eagle, if you've cared for it, trained it, bonded with it, you want to believe that connection is always there. That it always sees you, recognizes you, chooses you. And most of the time, it does. But not in that moment. In that moment, instinct takes over. And instinct doesn't care about familiarity. It cares about outcome. But here's where the story changes. Because not every pre-attack behavior means danger. Sometimes it means trust. And this is where most people get it wrong. There are moments when an eagle shows the same intense focus but doesn't strike. It watches. It studies. It leans forward ever so slightly and then stops. Almost like it's holding itself back. And if you're close enough, if you've built that rare bond, you can feel it. That tension, that restraint, that choice. Because an eagle that trusts you doesn't lose its instincts. It learns to control them around you. And that's not something you force. It's something you earn, slowly, over time, through consistency, through respect, through understanding its nature instead of trying to change it. There's a quiet moment many experienced handlers talk about. A moment when their eagle looks at them with that same piercing focus, but instead of launching forward, it relaxes, just slightly. The feathers soften, the posture lifts, the intensity fades, and in that tiny shift, there's a message. I could, but I won't. That's not weakness. That's trust. But let's go back for a second, because there's one more behavior that almost no one notices. And once you understand this, everything starts to make sense. Right before an eagle attacks, its breathing changes. Not in an obvious way, not like a pant or a gasp, but in rhythm. It becomes slower, deeper, more controlled, almost like it's preparing for something. Because it is. An attack isn't just a movement. It's an explosion of energy. Muscles contract, wings engage, talons extend with incredible force. And all of that requires preparation. So the eagle steadies itself internally before it ever moves externally. This is why the attack feels so sudden, because all the preparation happens beneath the surface, hidden, quiet, invisible to anyone who isn't paying close attention. And maybe that's what makes eagles so captivating. They don't announce themselves. They don't warn in obvious ways. They exist in this balance between stillness and action, calm and chaos, trust and instinct. If you've ever been close to one, you know that feeling, that mix of awe and unease, because deep down, you understand something. This isn't just a bird. This is a predator, one that sees the world differently than you do, one that lives in a constant state of awareness most humans can't even imagine. But here's the part that brings everything together. Understanding these behaviors doesn't make eagles less mysterious. It makes your connection to them deeper, because now you're not just reacting, you're reading. You're noticing the subtle shifts, the quiet signals, the moments where instinct rises, and the moments where it softens. And maybe the next time you're near an eagle, you'll catch it, that brief second where its focus sharpens, where the world seems to disappear for it, where everything aligns. And instead of being caught off guard, you'll understand. You'll see the decision forming before it happens. And if you're lucky, if you've built that bond, you might also witness something even rarer, that moment where the eagle chooses not to act, where instinct pauses, where power holds itself back. Not because it has to, but because it trusts you enough to. And when that happens, something changes. Not just in the eagle, but in you, because you realize that trust with a creature like this isn't given lightly. It's earned in silence, in patience, in respect for what it truly is. So the next time you wonder what an eagle does before it attacks, don't look for something obvious. Don't expect a warning you can easily recognize. Instead, watch the stillness, the focus, the quiet preparation, because that's where the truth is, hidden in the moments no one notices.